Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech, protected.
The following is independently produced programming. The views and opinions expressed are those of the producers and do not reflect the views and opinions of Falls Area Community Television, our staff, or board of directors.
Secrets in the shadows, lost and found. Truth in every echo, loud and clear. Keep on with the long road, no more fear. In the halls of power, whispers grow. Every secret got beneath the undertone. Honest stories hidden in the dust. On this long road, in the truth we trust.
Welcome to The Long Road. I'm your host, Chris Roberts. And part of the reason I decided to bring up these two subjects, it's amazing. Well, people go, well, he's a veteran. He's going to be looking out for my interest. He's a religious man. He's going to be looking out for my interests. He's from my hometown. And it's amazing to me how people want to go, that person's like me, so I can trust that person. That person will do what's best for me. Well, even thought history is shown over and over and over again. Sometimes the people that will screw you over the quickest and the worst could be a close family member. But you trusted that individual. Why did you trust that individual? Well, it's family, and you have to trust family. Well, people, well, that individual's a Republican, and I trust all Republicans. And I can't trust any Democrat. And I'm a Democrat, and I can only trust Democrats, and there's no way I'm going to trust or believe anything one of those Republicans will say. Okay, you got people on the Democrats and go, wait a minute, look at these MAGA people. They're voting against their own interests. How could they vote for someone that's so corrupt? Well, that's a good question. But then I go, let's look some of these really big cities that have Democratic leadership. And you go, why would people vote against some of these politicians in these big cities if you know they're corrupt? Or it will go, look at a lot of the corrupt big cities. They were majority black cities, elected black people. And you go, oh, wait a minute, they were corrupt. But you know what it keeps coming down to? It's saying, I'm not going to look at that. I'm going to look at what's best for me. Not whether it's right or wrong. I'm not going to pass a moral or ethical judgment on someone who is delivering the goods to me. That's really all I want. I may be a good Christian, but you know what? When it comes to be taking care of me, I can look the other way. Or I can be this religion, or I can be that religion. And every religion out there has corrupt people. And they take care of the right people, and a lot of innocent people suffer. Because people will not question. People are really nowadays, you get punished for questioning. You get punished to go and say, you know what? this doesn't really make sense. Or, you know what? If I want this guy and I voted for this guy, there's no way I can mesh in my mind that this guy would do something so stupid. Or this woman would overlook the obvious. Okay? But in the end, who pays the price? So, kind of like at times, when you get ready to make a decision, you take the emotions out, the family relationships out, you take all the different relationships out, and you ask yourself a simple question: who stands to benefit the most from it? And you go, why do I have to ask that question? Well, how you end up and where you end up at the end depends a lot on what questions you asked, whether you are willing to stand up for yourself or you were just following the Pied Piper, or you were afraid, well, I can't ask that question, I'll lose my friends. Well, you know what? If your friends are going to the slaughterhouse, that's not the exact kind of friends that I would like to be with. I think I'd much rather be outside on the own. Because a slaughterhouse is not the place to be. But all my friends are going there. Well, you watch all the cows follow the goat with the bell up the ladder, bingo, get the bullet in the head, and it goes. And you go, well, you know what? That goat's pretty lucky. Well, after a couple of times, all of a sudden the goat will say, what the heck is happening? The escape hatch isn't opening. That's right, you're being replaced. You were learning too much, so you got to go. If people studied the concentration camps in World War II, or other different concentration camps and other things around the world, history, well, there was a lot of Jews that were willing to, I can live 30, 60, 90 days. They're going to help me. So I'll make sure I parade everybody into the gas chamber. I may get a little better meal, a little better place to sleep, but it's only temporary because your time is going to come. And so when you go meet your maker, you can meet your maker and says, hey, this is what happened to me. Or you can say to maker, I assisted evil doing all this bad stuff so I could have a little bit more time on earth. So we have to learn to ask questions. If you do not want to ask questions, you got to be willing to suffer the consequences. And a lot of times the consequences can be real brutal. So, I'm a VSO. I've been one for over 9 years. And before I came here, I found out it had like 1,042 decisions on the claims I submitted. Okay. 87% of those claims were successful. Just on retro pay, my veterans and widows got $7.2 million. if I added up all the money that the veterans are getting, drop out the ones that are passed on, they get about $600,000 a year. I mean, a month. So that's a lot of money. Almost 7.5 million bucks a year. Okay. I'm not doing this to brag or say, hey, look at my accomplishments. I'm saying I have not charged any of my veterans or widows or dependents one single penny. Not one. Yeah. After 9 years of doing it, I'm finally up to $30 an hour. Not bad. That's what a college degree and all these requirements, getting accredited and all that kind of stuff, only took me 9 years to get up to $30 an hour. The job started at 18 bucks an hour. Not a job a lot of people want, because if my grandson can work at Target for $16.50 as a 10th grader, and I with a college degree and a bunch of other experience can get the job at a little more than 18 bucks an hour, there's a mismatch there. There's no really return on investment for going to college and taking this job. But, but a lot of veterans like to go on Facebook, go on the internet, TikTok, you name it, and get advice. Great advice. Hey, you want to get 100% P&T, permanent and total? Your disability is too low. Let us get it. Let us upgrade. All this other kind of stuff. Or I'll have veteran, oh yeah, my buddy said he got this, this, and this. And I'm just sitting there and I'm going to myself, you know what? I don't know your buddy, but I know your buddy's lying. Or I know that your buddy was trained, or your buddy got a nexus letter that he paid for to deceive the federal government, deceive the Veterans Affairs to get this extra money. Okay? How do I know? Because I do a lot, and I said, like I told you, I've been doing this for a long time. I was doing this. I was able to prove of the hazardous chemicals and everything on Okinawa can cause prostate cancer and some other ones. And I recently was able to prove that those chemicals can cause Parkinson's disease after years and years and years of the VA saying, nope, it can't. Well, okay. It says, helping veterans get through the red tape of applying for VA disability benefits has become a multi-billion-dollar industry over the last 10 years. Just think, a multi-billion-dollar industry to charge them, veterans, what I can normally do from start to finish when they come in to see me, bingo, get everything uploaded and proof of confirmation, usually within 45 minutes. And you go, wow. Well, it's pretty easy. The form is only 5 pages. Forget about the first 8 pages. It's only 5 pages. And the only one that really counts is it's what you're claiming. Okay? And you go in and say, how can it be a multi-billion-dollar industry, multi-billion dollars, when it's against the law to charge veterans to file their claim. Okay? There's ways you do it. I had a woman come in and says, my uncle such and such, and he paid $750. I go, what for? Yep, he used his credit card, non-refundable and everything, to go in, and said the guy goes, hey, do this, and I'll tell you whether you are eligible to file a claim. Duh. Everybody veteran is eligible to file a claim. Yes, some of the claims are frivolous, but you don't have to pay $750 to file a claim. So I took POA and I'm looking at it. Okay, they had the woman's uncle sign a power of attorney. And they waited until about a week prior to the year was up, and they filed the claim. And I go to the woman, what are they filing a pension claim for? This doesn't make sense. Well, of course, because they didn't do it correctly and X'd out a whole bunch, it was denied. Okay? Now the company will go and say, we need to appeal this. Now we'll put the correct information in. And since it's been a year, and say it takes another year, so it's been 2 years, and say yes, bingo. Say it's $2,000 a month, 24, that's $48 that you rate. Guy goes, hey, here's your money. He signed the papers to the VA, and it's on appeal. And the lawyer was going to be able to keep 20%, almost $10,000. And I go to the lady, I go, your uncle was screwed over big time. And that's what's called the claim shock. They look for the small fish just to get them and rip them apart for as much money as they can. And I go, oh, wait a minute. Your uncle was in Vietnam. Your uncle has Parkinson's disease. Your uncle has prostate cancer. Oh, those are service connected. And here's the thing. If he gets 70%, the VA will pay for your uncle to go to a nursing home. What? Yep, 70% service connected will go to a nursing home. He won't have to pay any medical, won't have to pay anything. Because he's over 50%, and 70% or higher, he gets to go to the nursing home. Well, this guy never told me about that. Wait a minute. The guy didn't care about your uncle's well-being or quality of life. He only cared about maximizing his return at your uncle. But it said it was veteran-owned and things like that. So what does that mean, veterans-owned? Hey, I was in the military, and I know other buddies, other Marines, messed around with other Marines' wives while the Marine was gone for 6, 7, 8, 9 months. No, they are slime bags. Just because you're a veteran, just because you're a Marine, doesn't say you have morals and ethics. Okay? And the nephew says, hey, is there any way we can get this money back? I go, nope, you can't get the money back. You can complain to the VA. They will able complain to the VA, and a number of other people complain to the VA. And what happened was they took down basically their website saying they were no longer helping veterans. They were transitioning into another service. But just think of all the veterans that got screwed over, especially for the veterans in their 60s or 70s, especially for the veterans that are hurting for money. Oh crap, all I got is Social Security. I can't pay my property taxes. I can't live on this. I need to get extra money. And basically, there are people out there that will more than sucker you right in. There was a woman that was on Facebook, and she was saying, oh yeah, I get veterans 100% permanent total all the time. Oh, one just recently says, you know what? High priority claims, hypertension. I can get you 100% for hypertension. And I go, no. The normal rate for hypertension is 0 because it's controllable. If it's controllable, you get a 0. If it goes up and down, you get a 10. The highest so far that I've ever seen was 30%. The veteran was on 3 medications, and he had repeated 160 over 100. Okay? No, none higher. And I've had over 100 people rated for hypertension. Oh, got prostate cancer? I can get you 100%. Yes and no. You only get 100% if the prostate cancer is active. Usually within 6 months of getting these cancers treated, you go on to residual effects. You get a new exam. Okay? You had prostate, you had it either removed, you treated by seeds or radiation. Now your numbers are extremely low. Oh, you don't have to wear a diaper? You don't have to go to the bathroom number of times of the day. You don't dribble down your leg. You don't have to get up a number of times at night. Oh, you do not have any residual effects, so you're going to get 0%. Nope, it doesn't matter. So like some companies will go and say, hey, you know what? We're going to fight for this. Oh, you got prostate cancer? They go, oh, this is really good. Prostate cancer. You served in Vietnam. Yep. Did you know that you can go to any VA hospital and go to the office? Hey, and you tell them you got prostate cancer and do this, and they'll fill the claim out for you and have it submitted in 20 minutes, and you have a copy. But me, if I'm a claim shock, I'll go, here, sign right here. And the deal is, you will only have to pay me 5 times what your increase is. Okay, so I get a 20%, I'm getting $300. Yes, I have active prostate cancer, I'm married and stuff like that. So I get $4,600. And I go, wow, that's really good. I gave her $4,600. Oh, wait a minute. The deal was you were going to pay me 5 times the increase. And the increase was $4,300. So you're going to pay me $21,500 for something that was already diagnosed and something that was a presumptive. You served in the Gulf, you served in Vietnam. Bingo. There is no proof whatsoever. And oh yeah, by the way, we want to make sure that the VA will approve it. I have a doctor just bingo, I'll have the doctor write up what's called the nexus letter because the VA always wants a nexus letter. But you know what? It'll only be $4,000, so we can ensure you get it. So you pay $4,000 for this nexus letter and in there. Well, you don't need a nexus letter if it's a presumptive. You just got screwed again. So this guy basically screwed you out of $25,000 for something if you drove to Manchester, White River Junction, or see one of the certified VSOs. That's all it had to do, and you would have collected every single penny. An investigation by the War Horse and National Public Radio revealed that over the past 10 years, the Department of Veteran Affairs has sent out more than 40 letters to dozens of claim consulting companies, sometimes called claim sharks by critics, wanting them to review their practice and immediately cease any illegal activity. Yet, this hasn't stopped them one bit. On contrary, many of these companies have only gotten bigger and bolder. These companies exist in the Wild West, raking in huge sums as lawmakers and regulators struggle to keep up with the legal loopholes. Some of them are multi-million-dollar firms with more than 100 employees on their payroll, while others are small family-owned businesses. Many are founded and run by veterans who claim that their primary goal is to help other veterans get the benefits they deserve. But under federal law, only representatives accredited by the VA, such as lawyers, nonprofit, veteran service organization, can provide such help. Okay? I'm accredited by the VA. I work for the state of New Hampshire. I filed 3 claims Monday, and then I took a POA for the 4th person. So by tomorrow or Friday at the latest, I will be able to go into the VA system and make sure my claim and everything is in there. Make sure that the VA has got the medical records from the VA hospitals and all the information. It's got the service record, the dental record, the medical record from the National Archives, that all that stuff is there. I can periodically go in and say, oh, they put a 5103. The 5103 says, hey, veteran, do you have any more information? If you have more information, we'll keep your claim open. If you have no more information and would like us to make a decision on your claim, have you or your POA sign this. I can print it out, sign it, upload it right back, and as soon as they get it right back, they can make a decision pretty quickly. But you know what? If I'm one of the people on the side, I have no access to your VA file. I don't know if they sent you a letter or they were asking for additional information. Oh, you filed for unemployability, but your former employees never filled out the paperwork. I don't know that. Or, oh yeah, do you know that you can put a request in for the VA to get your health records? But the VA will try twice. And if they don't get it on the second time, you, the veteran, are responsible to get those medical records to the VA. The VA is only legally responsible to get federal records. Bingo. Yes, some of the big companies have accredited people so they can get access in. Okay. Well, I have a veteran. Oh, I was doing it today. I had a number of veterans who had a bunch of comp and pen exams. So I was going through the comp and pen exams to see if they were giving a good exam or the person that was doing the exam was just a lazy slug, just trying to go in and get money off really quick. And there's a number of occasions I've said, no, these are BS exams. There's people that I will not allow my clients to go. I know 4 individuals that do lousy, insufficient exams and who really don't like the veterans. They think the veterans are just trying to get over, that the veterans are just welfare queens. And so, and like I said, oh, he must be good. He's a veteran. No veteran will screw me over. Yes, they will. There's no question in my mind. There are veterans who will screw other veterans over just to put money in their own pocket. They don't care. So what? If I help you, I get $25,000. I'm never going to see you again. So you have to wait 6 months till you get your first check from the VA because you owe me all this money up front. Give you an example. We just focus on our client, says Chaz Sampson, an Army veteran and CEO of 7 Principles, who insists he never received the warning letter that the VA sent to his company last year. Oh, so you're pretty sure? Oh, thing from the VA, I just won't look at it. He says, if the VA ever comes out and says, hey, you are going to prison for this tomorrow, we're going to stop doing it. Until then, we are going to continue servicing the people. I think Stevie Wonder and Helen Keller can see what the individual is saying. I don't care if you gave me a warning letter. I don't care if you're telling me to stop doing illegal things. Unless you come and tell me you're going to put me in jail, I'm not stopping. But wait a minute. You know, playing, the 7 principles. Oh, you know, I'd be questioning those principles. Yep. Hey, you're going to prison for this tomorrow. We're going to stop doing it. Until then, we will continue. Hey, I'm an Army veteran. You can trust me. I'm the CEO of a highly ethical, moral 7 Principles who will help veterans. At least 29 of the 38 companies that were warned in letters that they may be engaged in unlawful activities appear to be still operating as of last number. 29 still have active business registration, and a total of 34 have an active website or a social media account. And at least 9 were registered as nonprofits. oh, this is really great. We can screw the veteran, but we can be a nonprofit, so we don't have to pay all our taxes. And oh, if we live in Keene, New Hampshire, and we're a nonprofit, oh, look at the tax breaks that we get. And so we could screw over the veteran. We pay less in federal tax. We can pay less in state and city tax. And at the same time, when we should be paying more money, really, in the end, the city is helping us support screwing over veterans by accepting us as a nonprofit. Some of the biggest companies include VA Claim Insider, Trajectory Inc., and Veterans Guardian VA Claim Consultant received multiple letters over a 10-year period, all while growing their companies to hundreds of employees and collectively spending millions of dollars on lobby efforts and political endorsements. According to the Federal Trade Commission, in 2024, veterans were swindled out of at least $419 million just for 2024. And these are a lot of people who can't afford to lose any money, who were trying to get some of the benefits they deserved, but instead they were being screwed over by veterans helping veterans. Veteran Claim Insider. We're veterans who worked for the VA, so we know how the VA system works. Yep. Here it is. It's kind of like Dad died. We're going to read the will. And one of the family members, the siblings, is the executor. And we know that the executor would not anyway do anything that may benefit him or her over his or her siblings. They would all do what would be the just thing to do. No, we do not live in a Mary Poppins type of world. Family members screw each other over all the time. And when it says spending millions of dollars on lobbying efforts and political endorsements, you know what? You've got these people running and say, we support our veterans. We support our veterans. You know what? That is BS. Yes, there are some, but the majority do not support veterans. They only support veterans when it gets time to vote. And you go, why in the world would they spend hundreds of millions of dollars on political campaigns and endorsements and stuff? Well, millions of dollars, not hundreds, my mistake. Is because about 20 years ago, guess what Congress did? They said, yes, it's against the law to charge veterans. It's against the law to do this. It's against the law to do that. Okay? But you know what we're going to do? We're going to change the law because to ensure there are no civil penalties. Yep, no civil penalties. So if Chris wants to run a BSO business, or I would use representative or whatever, and screw over dozens and dozens and dozens of veterans by charging them illegal fees. And the VA says I'm doing it wrong, and the VA says I need to quit this. All I can do is just throw the finger to the VA, because these organizations who are not authorized to help veterans because they're screwing over veterans paid millions and millions of politicians, and politicians are saying, yes, this is wrong, but these people give me all the money to my campaigns, so I'm going to take the punishments away. Oh, anybody who has kids, what happens when you don't punish your child for not following the rules? Hey, the rules don't matter because there's no consequences. And what even makes it better, I went online, couple Nexus Mills. One of these companies that said they would help the veterans says, we have 800 doctors at our availability to write you a Nexus letter. 800 doctors that are going to write a letter, because I had one client that paid $4,000 to have a doctor out in Arizona write a Nexus letter for him, and that doctor only took his word, never looked at the medical records, never looked at the VA letter. And I don't know what kind of doctor was. She was a pretty quack. She didn't know her English very well, couldn't write very well. She had an English name, an Anglo-Saxon name, and she only charged him $4,000. So, like I said, I've had over 1,000 decisions, and I never once required any veteran to provide me a Nexus letter. Me, I go, hey, what was your MOS? Oh, I was artillery. I was in 155s. Okay. Chances are you're going to have tendinitis. Chances are you're going to have hearing loss. Chances are you're going to have lower back pain because picking up those 155 rounds are pretty heavy. Okay. You know, oh, what was your job? I was a refueler on a carrier. Oh, so you're dragging those long hoses across the deck to refuel those do hot refueling for Ospreys, F-35s, F-18s. Yep. Oh, you're going to have knee problems. You're going to have shoulder problems. You're going to have back problems. Those are pretty simple. And plus, all you have to do is go online, Department of Defense, on the medical, and it lists every job and which has the prevalence of what can be wrong. Okay? I'm a combat engineer. I blew up a lot of things. I constantly have tendinitis, and my hearing is impaired. That is quite normal. So there are things that would happen. Oh, you're in an Amtrak. Oh, you got constant vibrations as you are riding in that Amtrak. Okay, I understand. I know what the military was, and I know what to look for, and I've been in a number of those situations. To have some person, oh yeah, I'm going to write up and explain to you, this is what happens when you're in Amtrak. You haven't even seen an Amtrak. You don't even know what an Amtrak is, and you haven't even looked up or researched an Amtrak. But you'll pay any charge on average of $500 to $2,000 and even more. Factors that influence the cost include the number of disabilities you have, how long ago you became disabled, and the extensiveness of your medical and service records. Rarely do the people that do the Nexus letters read your service records because most of the veterans don't have their service connected. So next time when someone says, you know what? I got a good friend that can help you out. They got me 100%, or they got me 50% for sleep apnea. Oh, wait a minute, sleep apnea? You're 312 pounds and you're 50.13 BMI? That isn't military related. That's because you wouldn't shut your mouth and you wouldn't get out and walk. That's why you have sleep apnea, because you keep filling your pie hole. Okay, so I don't care. Yep, you want to pay $1,000 to get someone to do it. When you get denied, don't come and ask me to represent you in front of the judge to try to convince the judge that they made a mistake. I don't lie for you, and I don't lie in front of the judge. My credibility is a heck of a lot more important than you trying to bamboozle the system. If you want to do it, go find one of these people that will represent you in front of the judge. If they can't make money off it, they're not doing it. They'll never return your phone call. Now, here it is. It's March 4th. We're the 5th day of the war. We don't know how long it's going to last, how far it's going to spread. But, let's cut to the chase. How much is it going to cost? Speaker Johnson is already saying we got to come up with a supplemental budget so we can pay for this war. We have $900 billion in the defense, and we're saying is we do not have enough money to pay for this war, and we might need a couple of $100 billion more to pay for this war. Oh, hey, before I came here, President Trump says, you know what? I think I may want us to get involved in a new Iranian government. Oh, imperialism 101. I want to be involved in the Iranian government. I want to be involved in the Venezuelan government. I want to be involved in the Cuban government. What's next? Brazil, Iraq, Syria, Afghanistan, Nigeria. We haven't had a good track record. So it's spreading. Okay. So far, over 1,000 people have died throughout the region since the fighting. The majority in Iran, but 100 more in secondary fronts like Lebanon. The war is still in an escalatory phase, so it's going to go bigger. So estimating the ultimate cost in lives and money is impossible at this time. The leadership of Iran is pledged to shut down the critical Straits of Hormuz, a prime waterway for getting Persian Gulf. Did you notice? Maybe not. February 28, Cumberland Farms gas was $2.79. On the March 1st, it was $2.99. And today, when I was walking past it was $3.09. So, since the war started, it's only gone up 30 cents. So if you have a nice truck, you have to fill your gas up, tank up twice a week, or you have a nice big Suburban or Escalade, whatever. So what's $15 to $20 more a week out of your pocket? Hey, that can be $50 to $80 extra every month. But don't worry, the president says it's going to go down. Okay? But let's compare. We should not forget early in the post 9/11 wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, U.S. officials put forth cost estimates that were a fraction of the ultimate economic burden of those wars. George W. Bush administrative official Kenneth Alderman famously wrote that the war would overshow Saddam Hussein would be a cakewalk, and the White House economic advisor Lawrence Lindsay suggested the war in Iraq would cost about $50 billion. In Afghanistan, early hopes for a quick defeat of the government that was harboring Al-Qaeda combined with a sharp blow to the terrorist group capacity to mount future attacks on the United States. Where did I hear this before? Those early estimates would be laughable if the human consequences of the Iraq and Afghanistan war weren't so devastating. Each conflict stretched over 20 years with hundreds of thousands of deaths on all sides. And what did the bill the U.S. taxpayers will have to pay? Guess what? The American taxpayers' bill for these two wars that was supposed to cost about $50 billion will be in total $8 trillion. You go $8 trillion? Well, I go. I got some veterans that served in Afghanistan. Hey, they're only like 30 years old. A little bit older. They got 100%. That means if they live to like 75, that means the U.S. taxpayers are going to have to pay them about $4 million when you add up all those monthly payments. That doesn't mean the current war will cost that much, but the fact that it's already spread to the entire region means the cost will be substantial and will mount for years to come. Because, hey, Iran is half the size of Europe. Iran has 95 million people. Guess what? The warlords in Afghanistan and the Shiites and the Sunnis and the pro-Saddam Hussein, they did a pretty good job on the American forces, causing thousands of deaths and costing a lot of money. What about rebuilding? Where's the money going to come for rebuilding? Hey, the president wants to help rebuild the Gaza to make it into kind of the Riviera of the Middle East. Oh, I guess the American people are going to be paying for that. The United States right now, with the extra ships in there, in right around the region, is costing us $59 million a day since they've been there. But you know what? That sum does not even consider the costs of jet fuel, the wear and tear on the planes, the replacement parts, the bombs, the bullets, all this stuff. Okay? The 3 F-15s that were shot down can cost up to $119 million. So, hey, that's $350 million that the United States has to come up with to replace it. And one of the things Iran is shooting a lot of their old drones, old missiles. Their old drones cost $5,000 to $10,000 each. And the United States is doing a pretty good job at math, spending $100,000 to $500,000 each to shoot them down. Not bad. Hey, United States likes to use cruise missiles. $1.25 million a missile. You know what's even better? The Patriot missile system. United States, Iran is doing some of their better $20,000 drones, and we're spending $4 million to shoot them down. Okay, that's why the American taxpayer is going to have to pay. And that's why our great grandchildren, okay, will still be paying interest on this war. We're still paying interest on World War II, Korea, Vietnam. We're going into debt to pay for this, and we're going to pay interest. So if Speaker Johnson wants $200 billion, that's $200 billion that will go on debt, and that's $200 billion we'll be paying interest on.